This episode is a shout out to whoever came up with the idea of the National Day of Reason, because we shouldn't really allow the government to really get involved with religious politics. And the sad part is, with this National Day of Prayer, that's exactly what it's doing. So, as atheists, secular humanists, secular secular deists, secular Christians, whatever, we should just stand against this. Hello there, this is your captain speaking, and today we're going to talk about something interesting, at least in my opinion, and it's called Fauxlogy, the use of attractive words and misnomers in order to seem truthful. So today we're going to look at two approaches that I have found through perusing the internet and just through personal experience that religious people typically use in order to prove their point. If they can, or according to them, prove their point. And these two approaches are philosophical and cultural. And for them, these two approaches, if you're religious, these two approaches are like the most important way to, I guess you would say, either proselytize or preach to people who don't follow your belief system. So with that being said, let's just go ahead and get started. So the first thing I hear is something can't come from nothing. Well, my deal is if you make that argument that something can't come from nothing, you must automatically, you are asserting that you know what nothing is. Now, this comes down to semantics and I guess more philosophy than anything. But in my opinion, from my experience and everything, I've never seen nothing. To see nothing means to see a void. We have never seen a void. I don't even think NASA has seen a void before. So this whole idea about something can't come from nothing is completely fabricated. It's completely false. Let me give you an idea, a better example based on what I just said, that we never experienced nothing. When we say when someone says that I ain't see nothing, I don't have nothing, I don't need nothing, you're not actually using nothing in the proper sort of aspect. You might be using the dictionary idea of it. You might be using the, I guess you would say, the average Joe idea of nothing, but it's not actually nothing. You're actually making an assertion that you don't have something. It's like if you were to say, when you say I don't have nothing, you're actually saying that you don't have this thing, these things. And it could be everything that you don't have. I mean, that would be impossibility, pretty much. But you're basically saying that that this thing is absent from you. If you don't, if you actually, let me put it away. If you say you don't want to eat anything, nothing, you're saying you don't want to eat anything. It can go on to, I don't want to eat this particular thing. I don't, or don't, whether you don't like it or you just tired of it or whatever. It's not actually saying I don't eat nothing, because we know biology. So This whole idea about something can't come from nothing is basically a question that's assertion that shouldn't even been uh, obtained. Of course, something can come from nothing because we never experienced nothing, and of course, because we never experienced nothing, we only experienced something. We always experience something. Our minds are skewed to say that something, things must come from creators. Now, this kind of leads on to my second point that they like to make. So I'm just gonna end it. I'm just gonna end the first point there, just because my second one is gonna kind of argue some more of that deal in a way. The second point that they love to make, and I know my fellow atheists and secular humanists and all that, and even deists or whatever would agree on this point they like to make. God created everything. The whole notion of first cause, you know. Now, the thing of this is that if someone claims that a deity created everything and there's nothing that could have originated without it, then what created it? They love doing this whole sort of, well, God created everything. You atheists, you're out your mind, because obviously, think about it. We're made in God's image, just like, you have this car, and the car gets put together. We know who the manufacturer is. So just like that, everything else had to be created. Well, the thing is that you have to prove that your creator was created if you put this whole notion of there being a creating being, because you can't use that logic. Now this is let me phrase it. They love doing this whole special pleading deal where all the laws of the universe and nature and everything applies to everything and everybody except God. God does not fulfill these requirements. He don't have to be constrained into this whole thing. So by that very nature, if the religious people make that claim, then the only way, because they love to say that no exceptions. So I'm holding to it. You have no exception to the rule. Your God was created. So the only way they can fit that idea, if God created itself, which leads to you still got that whole argument that they like to throw our way, where it's like, well, something had to create that particle that started the Big Bang. Okay, something had to create that something had to create that, I don't know, DNA structure that created your deity, or that element that kickstarted universal evolution that created your deity. Because you can't argue that something can't come from nothing and then say God was always there. He ain't come from he ain't come from nothing. He was just always there. That in a logical, rational person's mind, and they know this. They have to know this, unless there's something mentally wrong with them. It might be that case. I mean, I'm not. In that case, I'm not trying to diss you because you can't help that. But if you can help that, then you're lying to yourself. You know good and well that special pleading is not applicable when it comes to ideas on this grander scale. It makes no sense. You cannot, with everything we know about now we don't even know that much on how the universe works, but we got a good sense. We make some hypotheses and things like that, I mean, technically we don't really know. Gravity is still a theory, we don't really know 100% how it works. You can't know how 100% how anything works. But, unless you created it. And even then, the process that enables that particular object or instrument or whatever to do what it do, you still can't fully understand that. But these religious people can't sit there and say that everything has an origin and then say except God. It's ridiculous. Come on now. All right, so let's move on to the third point after we got through all of that. And this one is going to be short and sweet and to the point. Using the Bible to prove the Bible is a circular fallacy. That's pretty much it. There's nothing you can argue about that. You can't use the Bible to prove the Bible is true. That just I mean, the argument can't even get started on that basis. It starts off incorrect. It starts off with a fallacy. The fourth claim, yeah, I said it was fast. I said that third claim was gonna be fast because there's not too much more you can say about it. There's no philosophical arguments you need to make with that or anything else. It's just common sense. It is what it is. This one is kind of ticky tack, I guess you'd say, but damn, it's my damn show. I'm gonna make it. Claiming that the Bible is the word of God is ridiculous, as the term word is singular and the Bible contains many words. I said kind of juvenile or whatever, but I mean, if you're always trying to prove the Bible is true by using the Bible, I mean, really, I'm allowed some little pedestrian quips and things like that, I mean, but it's accurate though. I mean, you already start off. I mean, you started off with a ridiculous defense. You might well have some grammatical fuck ups. Why not? So let's go ahead and move to I guess it will be the fifth reason. This is the first. I branched them off in two things. Those are philosophical. These will be more of the cultural things, more of the sort of societal things, more of the emotional type deal. So at this point, I want to talk about this whole idea of appeal to emotion. Believing in God just feels right and or great. Or I should say right and great, because they believe both. Well, I'm going to go ahead and reject that. And how I reject it is with this statement. Not believing in a deity feels both right and great to me. Do y'all who believe in that whole notion, the whole topic of God just feels right and great and everything? Did you get that? Not believing feels right and great to me. Let me put it this way: when I was playing lip service, I felt like shit. Be real, I felt like shit because I wasn't able to express who I was. But with age came responsibility, but with that responsibility came with a voice. And I felt responsible to voice my opinion. I felt responsible not only to myself, but to other people who feel this way, that I need to voice my opinion. You know. So while for you religious people, your beliefs, and this could be anybody's religion. It's not just Christian. It could be Muslim, it could be Jewish, Hindu, it could be Chemism or Taoism or what Shintoism, whatever. Not believing in what y'all believe in feels right and great to me, and that's all it is. You put an emotional argument, I'll put an emotional response. I guess this will be the sixth one, or the second one on the cultural. I'm just gonna go with the second one on the cultural. This belief caused people like Pol Pot, Stalin, Mao, Hitler to do bad. Come on now. Many of you might not know this, but I majored in history in college. I was a history major at the University of Alabama. I was also a film major. But this whole idea, now, with that history caveat there, and being at Alabama, which is actually have some of the top-notch acclaimed history professors in the country. With that being said, I kind of know my stuff on this. They taught me how. They didn't teach me how to learn, but they taught me the steps, extra steps I can use to confirm, or push away ideas. And there's not one other time I can think of that would be more appropriate to use those steps I learned at Alabama than with this idea. So I'm gonna go through these 4 leaders for you. Pol Pot didn't kill because of atheism. He killed because, well, number one, most people died from starvation, just like Mao's Cultural Revolution. They didn't kill in the name of atheism. They killed because they had this idea of what a perfect utopian society would be. And a perfect utopian society in their mindset would be a society completely stripped away from Western influences. Well, I guess I shouldn't say completely stripped away from Western influence. I mean, Pol Pot did go to European university. I think he went to the Sorbonne. I think so. I think he went to the Sorbonne. I'm not sure. I think it was a French university. I could be wrong about that. Anyway, if you know, please let me know in the comments. Mao had a lot of Western just like Lil Kim in North Korea, the Lil Kims and whatever, they proclaim all this stuff, Western civilization and Western technology. I mean, all this stuff yields to the world, and at the same time they'll use Western technology and stuff and for their entertainment and stuff like that. The same way it was. Both Mao and Pol Pot killed because they put on. It was a big pyramid scheme, pretty much. Both of them, big ass pyramid scheme. There were some greedy motherfuckers that were narcissistic, selfish, had a bit of Napoleonic complex, and thought that that they could just do whatever with people, and they didn't have no semblance of empathy really. Stalin kind of killed for the same reason, and Death's Last the same reasons, I guess, but kind of in a different sense. Stalin was I guess you would say a lot more narcissistic than most of the other people. I mean, they're all narcissists. They're all self-centered people. They're all egotistical. But Stalin took it to the point of paranoia. He was literally paranoid of people. He was mad. He was just crazy. It didn't help that the people, you know, in you know the Kremlin, you know, the State Duma and all that stuff, really gave him a lot more power than he actually deserved. So his paranoia just really led to the, you know, all this stuff. I mean, he took his troop, you know, people who fought in wars for Mother Russia, and he put them in gulags because he thought they were just gonna rise up against him. I mean, hell, you know, might be true. I mean, they didn't really like the way that Stalin was running. A lot of people didn't like the way Stalin was running Russia. They got a taste of how Western civilization was, and they're like, oh, well, we need a part of that. So I can't blame. I blame Stalin, but at the same token, unfortunately, some of that paranoia might actually been based on some facts. It still don't excuse what he did. He still was a brutal monster that honestly should have been killed. Should have died well before his actual expiration date, historically. And Hitler basically put everything I said on that list, but make sure, and I want you Christians particularly to hear this. That's why I'm up on the mic like this. That's why it's louder than most of my other stuff. Hitler was Catholic. He was Christian. He did this because of his Christian beliefs. There was nothing else. His hatred of Jews came from his Catholic ideology. A lot of people like to just sort of give the Catholic Church a free pass when it came down to anti-Semitism. But Catholic Church was the biggest propagators of anti-Semitism. The whole Crusades out there talking about Muslims were terrible. We need to take back the Holy Land. No, Muslims got along with Jews, pretty much. Got along with Jews. It didn't matter to them. You know, the whole thing about taking back the Holy Land was nothing but a money grab in the first place from Christians or whatever. Muslims really, Muslims back then really wanted a unified sort of Jewish Muslim type deal, because a lot of Muslims back then did respect Judaism. Their religion came from Judaism ultimately. It came from Abrahamic belief. But no, not Catholics during that time period. No. Got me on Catholics in these time periods, especially in the Northern Crusades. A lot of people don't know about the Northern Crusades. I actually did a paper on it, essay on it, in one of my classes. The Teutonic Knights invaded Lithuania, which at this time, they actually became Christian. They didn't become Catholic. They became, whatever Christianity was in the area at that time. They invaded. The Teutonic Knights went in there and tried and try to rule as and saying they're doing this in the name of Christ and all this stuff. I mean, it really was nothing but resources, lush forests, and they had a lot of money. So, but I was getting off topic a little bit, but I mean, it wasn't off topic; it was still on topic, but I kind of treading there. But Hitler, there's no denying this, and many rational Christians would agree. They really agree with this, because I talked to a lot of rational Christians who agree with me on this. Hitler killed because of his idea on the Christian-based idea of this world belongs to the Christians, and the Catholic idea on anti-Semitism. Now, no, Catholics won't say that, the church won't say this shit today. The Pope won't say that stuff. The Pope probably ain't anti-Semite. But a lot of popes before him were. And they did not hide that damn anti-Semitism at all. They didn't care. They really didn't. But we can move off of that. It could add other people on the list, Robert Mugabe, and a lot of other people on the list. But let's move on from that. I mean, you can go examples for days. Let's move on to the third point. God is love and knowledge. This might actually get people to be pissed off at me. Religious people, I should say. It might get people, they probably will get pissed off when I say this. But you know what? I don't care. I don't care. This is my show. I'm do whatever the hell I want. If God is love, then people are hate. And with all of the ills that we have caused to each other and to the planet, then we shouldn't listen to each other. Pure and simple. Pure and simple. If you claim your God is love, and there is hatred and evil and all this stuff in the world, and it's called by people, then we shouldn't listen to people in the first place. We shouldn't listen to preachers. Shouldn't listen to advocates of religion and everything. That invalidates your Bible, because a person wrote the Bible. I don't care if you say it's inspired by God. It's not God that wrote it. It's still a person. It's a flawed human. And as humans, which we have caused so much death and chaos and destruction on each other and on this planet. And who knows, if aliens exist and they seeing this, shit, they might come and fuck us up because of what we did. Who knows? If we, as those type of people, and a historical example, that's where we are, then we should not listen to each other. Because clearly, if there is a God, then he, and this God was, like we said before, all, is loving, a loving God and all this stuff. And we're creating His image and create us to love you, and God is love and supposed to be all this stuff, then we just flat out shouldn't listen to each other at all. Period. And better yet, we shouldn't do nothing. We should only do what we are naturally built to do by this God, which is to, it basically come down to this: eat, sleep, shit, fuck. That's it. Nothing else. We shouldn't think. We shouldn't anything else. We shouldn't do nothing else except for those four things. Shouldn't build shelters. Cause God being knowledge and being love, He's gonna provide everything else we need. So that's just one thing. When those things, they'll just be like, I just have to laugh a lot of times when they say that. Now this next one definitely gonna piss some of these radical Christians off or whatever. And this is particularly for Christians. Particularly for Christians. They have this whole notion that this nation was founded on Christian principles. Yeah, not so much. We have actual quotes from these founding fathers that says that completely dispels that notion. I mean, just outright shuts it down. Just completely kills that idea. I'm gonna go ahead and give you some examples. Thomas Paine. Okay, this is what Thomas Paine says. As to religion, I hold it to be the indispensable duty of government to protect all conscientious protesters thereof, and I know of no other business government has to do therewith. Let me go ahead and break that down for y'all super right-wing Christians out there. What he's saying is, as far as government concerned, the only thing that government's supposed to protect is those people who have an objection to that religion. You understand that? I mean, do you get that? Let me read you another one. And that was from Common Sense. Something he wrote, if you ain't know. I'll read you another one. Persecution is not an original feature in any religion, but it is always the strongly marked feature of all religions established by law. Thus from the rights of man. You get that? The persecution comes from religions established by law. And he ain't saying that these laws created the particular religion. What he's saying is that for all those whose religions are bolstered by the law of the land, that's where the persecution come from. It don't come from the religion itself, because you gotta understand that Thomas Paine believed religion in itself was a man-made creation. But when you have that religion bolstered by law, you just gonna get persecution. Persecution just gonna come. All right, here we go. Thomas Jefferson, who Christians love to claim that he advocated for a church-ran government, Christian ran government. Let me read you a little bit. I contemplate with sovereign reverence that act of the whole American people, which declared that their legislature should make no law respecting an establishment of religion or prohibiting the free exercise thereof. Thus, building a wall of separation between church and state. That was in his letter to the Danbury Baptists, who wanted to create who wanted the government to basically do just like do the same things pretty much that the founding that the original colonists escaped from. Basically create a theocracy. That's what the Danbury Baptists wanted, a theocracy. Some just like, no, our ancestors didn't come here for that. Okay, let me read you another one. This from the Notes on the State of Virginia, 1781 to 1785. The legitimate powers of government extend to such acts only as are injurious to others, but it does not. But it does me no injury for my neighbor to say there are 20 gods or no God. It neither picks my pocket nor breaks my leg. You get that? What he's saying is, just because you're emotionally injured doesn't mean you're actually injured. The government not going to intervene if your emotions are hurt because your religion says this and what your neighbor said goes against that. Government don't protect sensibilities when it comes down to religion. Okay, let me get you something else. Okay, here we go. Benjamin Franklin. This is a good one. I cannot conceive otherwise that he, the infinite Father, expects or requires no worship or praise from us, but that he is even infinitely above it. That comes down to really does it kind of just kills this idea that all this evangelizing and stuff is nonsense, but just crucial to the topic at hand. It really just saying it really says that if your God, who is the ultimate power in the universe, creator of all that you see in yourself, then it wouldn't make sense for us to create a place where people are forced to see to recognize that he's the ultimate person, the ultimate creator, and all this stuff. It's not on others to force it down people's throat. It's definitely not on the government. Though I can keep going and going and going, I can give you something for George Washington, But actually, let me go ahead and read this from George Washington. If I could conceive that the general government might ever be so administered as to render the liberty of conscience insecure, I beg you will be persuaded that no one would be more zealous than myself to establish effectual barriers against the horrors of spiritual tyranny in every species of religious persecution. That was from his 1789 letter to the United Baptist Chamber of Virginia. George Washington, who I don't know one right-wing Christian that wouldn't march back, wouldn't protest that the founding fathers were advocates of Christian-based government then use him because he really he never really said anything as far as, you know, being against religion per se. He kind of left that open to people's interpretation, but he was against a Christian-based nation. I tell you that much. But even getting past that whole founding father stuff and everything, I mean, I can go on and on and on. I really can. Honestly, I really should. That should be something. Should use that on one as one of my shows. Just read quotes from the founding fathers on separation of church and state. But you know, I mean, I ain't trying to make this thing too long, you know, because I still got one more point to make. But just to end this one, if you use the whole thing about nation founded on Christian principles, you also negate many indigenous nations that were here first. Now, you know me from my last video. I like to represent my Native American side, you know. And once I get a DNA test and find out, you know, where tribe I belong to and everything, because there ain't too much as far as family concerned that really lets me know outside of the couple of pictures that were long lost, you know. You know, I've really got to advocate for something like this. You know, Native Americans already get a bad rap, you know, from Hollywood perceptions, Christian perceptions back then on them being savages and all that stuff and everything. So you're gonna give them even more indignity. You already took my ancestors' land and raped and pillaged and killed and filled with diseases and everything, parceled out land and everything. But now you're just gonna insult them culturally. Insult them on one of the few things they have by saying this place was just always a Christian place, created by God to be a Christian damn bastion of you know, of Christian principles. You know, I gotta just say flat out, fuck you, pure and fucking simple. You can run and tell that for damn sure. On a broad note, let's move on to the fifth and final point I have to make. We made it, folks. If you're here with me till now, just bear with me, cause it's gonna be short and sweet. The one thing they love to debate with scientists is that science originated from the Bible. Yeah. See, this would be true if it weren't for all of the scientific experiments and advances that are performed by many societies much older than even the Bible, the biblical claims of human origin. You know, that would be true if it wasn't for that. Because we know through archaeological evidence, through what was written down, I mean, the list go on, that in China and India, even Native Americans, Egyptians, the Africans on sub-Saharan Africans, Greeks, whatever. I mean, the list can go on and on. Germans, Norsemen, whatever. They actually were, I guess you would say, proto-scientists. I guess you would say proto-scientists. Would that be accurate? I don't know. really any other way to say it. Although they ain't have a lot of the tools and everything that you had coming in towards the Enlightenment period, where science was really becoming bigger or whatever. They did a lot of experiments and stuff that even today we use and we hold as general assessments, as general sort of facts. And a lot of these Christians love to just like, without the Bible, everybody would be savages and unscientific and not reasonable beings and all this stuff. No, we wouldn't. I even come to think of it that without the Bible, we would be a lot better than we are now. A lot better. But I'll tell you one thing: the Bible did influence the Enlightenment period. They influenced a lot of rational thinkers to use science. And once they used that science, they began to move away from irrational ideas. Whether it be ridiculous notion on how the body work, or how biology work, or fuck it, straight up just straight up and down move away from religion in general. The Bible did help that. I'll give it that. Yeah, that shit even continues today. Man, I think Penn Jillette said it best on Penn Teller's Bullshit. The best thing, I don't remember verbatim what he said, but pretty much the fastest or the best way to move away from Christianity was to read the Bible. It was something like that. Anybody can remember verbatim what he says, or got that episode or whatever, and can post it down in the comments or whatever. Post what he said down in the comments, because it was actually pretty well said. It was pretty cool. I enjoyed it. Anyway, yeah, that's pretty much it for this episode right here. That was just sort of this whole deal with Fauxlogy in general. Just, it kind of grind my gears that, yeah, Family Guy, but it just really gets to me that a lot of these people will call themselves rational, and they make these pedestrian arguments that don't make sense. Anyway, thanks for tuning in to this episode of Hedonist Talk. I will continue to put out some, new thing and new stuff, new content in the coming weeks or whatever. Hopefully I start, I get my damn GoPro back from my damn brother, so I can start posting actual motion video and things like that. Pretty soon I might get out there and get down there to one of them damn street preachers at in damn downtown Birmingham and Homewood and junk, and actually start debating them and put it out there so y'all can see me just in my attempt on, to destroy their logic. Or illogic, I should say. But thanks in a way, and be cool, be rational, be reasonable. Thank you. Alright, fellow heathens and sheeple, if you enjoyed that episode of Hedonist Talk, please comment, rate, thumbs up, thumbs down, subscribe on Hedonist Talk, and please feel free, if you're a heathen like myself, or if you're saved, no matter what religion you are, to open up a debate topic. I will be commenting on there, every now and then. Don't feel shy about it, because I think debate is a beautiful thing. Stand up for your First Amendment rights. This has been Slam Duncan Sr. And this has been Heathenist Talk.